What's up, everybody? Out here at the drop zone with Matt, and we're getting ready to descend this 200-foot plus cliff down into this bottom and get down to the creek. I just want to check this creek out because from up here, it really looks like it's starting to dry out. We've been extremely dry. Not really a drought, Matt, but
just a little dry snap.
Yeah, and it's really starting to affect the deer. It's starting to affect our food plots. So, you know, when it's dry like this, these deer are going to change their patterns up to ensure that they're going to places that have the most water. So we're going to get down here and check and see if that's one of them. Then we're going to do a bunch of work on this lease today. We're going to fill this feeder up, move some cameras around, and then really get to work on the other side. So keep hanging in there. We'll talk to you when we get down to the bottom. So I know in 2D, guys, it doesn't really give it what we're looking at, but you can see how heavy this path is. It's kind of wrapping and winding down this hill where these deer are coming up. Not just deer. I mean, I've never seen so many different types. I mean, heck, we even have a groundhog coming to the feeder, snatching our corn. But we're gonna keep making our way down. I forgot to tell you, it is August 11th, Sunday, August 11th. So we're about right at a month out. Matt, what'd you say, September 7th, opening day for archery? September 7th. So we're about, what, 4 or 5 weeks out?
I'm right at 4 weeks.
4 weeks. So guys, it's getting close, and we're gonna do everything on this farm today, finalize a bunch of changes and things we wanna get done, put a couple tree stands out, get shooting lanes cut in and everything, pull the cards, and we're gonna leave this thing alone for the next 4 to 5 weeks. We will not come back on this farm or on this lease until we are ready to hunt. But, I mean, you can see, hopefully, Matt's probably only 10 yards, but I feel really tall here, Matt.
You look way up there.
Oh, God. Oh. I mean, look at this heavy trail. You can see Matt where Matt's at. I mean, this is a really heavy trail, how they're coming up to that food source that we're providing, and then this creek bottom, which is the only water source I would assume in this area right now. This little shelf right here, guys, let me get down where you can see it a little better, is I hunted that this last modern gun season, and what it does is it overlooks this whole bottom and this creek. And it's a nice little setup. I've seen several good deer, just younger bucks, come through, and I mean, they literally never even knew I was sitting up there, sitting in the wide open, just chilling on a rock. Brought a fold-out chair. What? Oh. So there's some different things about habitat that I want to talk to you guys once we get down here. And when you get on these smaller parcels of property, why you want to do things like hinge cutting, opening up that canopy, because, well, I'll show it better to you when we get down. All right, so we're into this bottom, and you can see there's a bed. It's got hair in it. But where I was wanting to talk about is anywhere you got sun that's breaking through that canopy, you've got a lot more bedding environment. So let me flip this around. You can see where the sun breaks through that canopy where the trees have fallen, and look how much more vegetation, look how thick it is right there versus right behind me where the sun's not hitting the ground, right? And look how dense, or how clean that is. So just within 5 yards, you have very lush, thick, dense bedding cover right down here in this bottom because it's getting the sunlight, versus right over here where it gets no sunlight and really nothing but ferns are growing and dead leaves. So just wanted to kind of point that out, is when you get into properties like this, you want to strategically go in and either do some hinge cutting, do some tree removal. That's going to allow more sunlight to come through that canopy. And I know you guys have seen the ball test, right? Take a soccer ball out in the woods. If you can throw that soccer ball and can't see it, then you're doing good, especially for your fawns and stuff like that. If you're throwing it out here in a place like this behind me and you can just see the soccer ball sitting there, you basically don't have enough vegetation on the ground to support bedding or a bedding environment. So Anyway, just wanted to touch base on that. Let's get down this creek. It actually looks like it's running, Matt.
It is.
So as you can see, this creek is still flowing. But typically, this creek is anywhere from 3 to 5 foot deep all the way across, and it's usually a very heavy flow. So due to the lack of rain that we've had, I mean, heck, I'm looking at the ground here. I mean, in a lot of places, I'd say the deepest spot is maybe 1 to 2 foot, 18 inches in some deep holes. But at least we know we have running water coming through the property. That's a great sign, because on the other side, the creek beds, they're all dry right now, except for some pockets where they're just kind of little watering holes. We're gonna keep walking down here and see if we can't see some good sign. I know over there on the other side, hold on, look at that. They are tearing it up, coming up and down that hill. All right, everybody, so we're down in this creek bottom, down here in this little sandy pit, and you can see there's a dam just from flooding and stuff, and so it's basically backing all this water up here. You can see it's not really flowing as well. There is some current going through it, but this is a really good spot to find a watering hole. And along with watering holes, nice buck prints. So we know they're out here. The weird part is this is the left side of the property, and we're not getting a lot of buck activity on any cameras over here, but on the right side of the property where we're getting ready to move to later on this afternoon, bachelor groups like crazy. So
yeah, as they come in heat, they'll start splitting off though.
Oh yeah, they're going to get into their fall ranges here within the next about month. So that's another thing, great point, Matt, to discuss. Just because you get on these bachelor groups and kind of pattern them, that's only good for about the first week or so into season, because they're going to start splitting out. Their testosterone levels are going to start to go up as their horns start getting high. You point something out?
Go ahead.
As their horns start to get harder and harder, their testosterone levels continue to rise, and then they can no longer really tolerate each other, and so that's when they disperse and go into their fall ranges. So a lot of times, if you don't have bucks but you got does, you're going to pull some nice bucks over onto your property, so don't give up on it. If you have a lot of bucks on your property, and then during the summer months, don't be surprised if you only got 1 or 2 that make it and stay on that property during the actual rut. So just things to keep in mind. Man, there's some big old prints over here, Matt. I always like to turn the camera on at this moment, because this is when I usually fall.
It happens.
And there's nothing to grab onto. Oh, just gotta side foot it. That's not a root. Oh, all right, we made it. All right, guys, we're gonna get back up to the top and get some work done. See Matthew up there chilling. He's already at the top.
Made it.
I have to now make my way up there. But I just want to give you a kind of a view of what kind of steep terrain we're actually dealing with out here. And I also want to talk about, there's a lot of mixed feelings or ideas on whether you should be doing what we're doing today. You know, we're 4 weeks out from hunting season. We're probably not going to really dive deep into hunting season for about a month and a half, 2 months. But everyone's like, man, I can't believe you'd go and walk around, do all this and get pushed back. First of all, it's the first time all season we've been down here. So I don't believe one time of intrusion is going to make or break whether that buck stays on your property or not. It's just my opinion. 2, I know for a fact that we're providing nutrients, we're providing food source, and I know they got water, where this is one of the only water sources around here. So they're not going to not come back. We might bump them out of here for a day or 2, but they're going to make their way back here by the time we're sitting in a stand. So I just feel confident in that. But this intel and this MRI that we're getting from what we're doing today, I think is going to help us be more successful when it comes time to getting that big buck on the ground. So just my opinion. Now I got to keep climbing. Whew. Stay tuned. All right, so you got to bear with me because I'm a little winded. Matt's already good. He sat down for a second, so he's got his
Still
second
windy.
wind. But what I wanted to talk about was how amazing it is, just since the past 25, 30 years that I've been hunting, how much involvement our industry has had. Because when I was a kid, I used to do stuff like this. Now think about back in the day when we used to hunt and throw. Look at that, it's not even a 2x4, Matt.
No, you see where everyone was nailed at too.
It's a stick.
You see every nail hole going up through there.
So how we used to come out and just use whatever we could. I mean, 2x4s. Heck, this person, and this probably 20, 30 years ago, came out here and nailed a stick with 16 penny nails. That's not even 16, those are bigger. Little barn nails right there.
Like this.
But worked his way all the way up into this big old oak tree, and probably had some sort of platform up there. I'm sure didn't have any type of safety equipment on.
Or side.
Yeah,
Probably a piece of 1/4 inch plywood, because
Yeah.
you can afford 1/2 inch.
that's right. But it's just amazing of where we're at today as an industry, and how our hunting in itself has evolved, and what the tools that we have to be successful today versus coming out here and nailing a bunch of wood to a tree and climbing up there, and how unsafe that was. But look, you can check it out. You see about every couple feet,
Every 2 foot.
all the way up. That's crazy.
Crazy.
And it's even more crazy, I used to do stupid stuff like that too.
We all did.
I'm gonna wear a harness now because I'm fat and old, or whatever. All right, let's go get some work done. Enough playing. All right, everybody, so again, it's Sunday, so I forgot to go out and get corn. So Matt stopped at our favorite store today,
Academy.
Sports, and grabbed a couple bags of corn. It's not been that long ago that I came out. This is only about a quarter empty, so we'll go ahead and throw the corn in. We got a trophy rock. Matt picked up a trophy rock this morning. We're gonna freshen up this mineral site, and then that'll be good for the entire season. That site will be, it'll hold strong with that last rock. So I'm gonna do that. Gonna clean out some shooting lanes out here with the pole saw, and then this side of the farm is gonna be done, and we're gonna be out of here for the next 4 to 5 weeks. So. All right, so I just want to touch base on why I hate straps. So I'm going to dig in here real close. But look at all the bugs that have taken up residency with inside that strap behind this camera. Cricket. And so, hold that. Bottom line is every time, that strap's only been out here for what, 3, 4 weeks now?
About 6.
6 weeks. And all the way around through there, you've got spiders. You can see the spider webs. And not only are they there, but I guarantee you they're trying to get inside that camera as well. All it takes is one spider to get up inside the workings of that and get on that motherboard of the camera.
Right.
Fry it, done. There goes the money you got tied up in your camera. So why do I hate straps? Go strapless. This is the exact reason. Ultimate camera mounts, I never worry about this, because the camera itself is not touching the tree. So it doesn't have that surface to area contact where these bugs get in there and take up residency. So if you don't already have some Ultimate camera mounts, I highly recommend you get out there and check them out. All right, everybody, so I've got my pole saw with me, and we're gonna climb up here in this tree stand and clear out some of the branches and extra debris and things, so that when we do hunt that stand, we don't have obstacles in our shooting lanes. But what I wanted to talk about is being prepared when you come out to your leases, come out to your farms. Make sure that you bring things like a Leatherman or a multi-purpose tool, because just like this has a nut and a bolt on it. And if I didn't have this, I wouldn't be able to use this saw today. So just little things that we pick up on, because there's been plenty of times that I've gotten all the way out to try to get jobs done, and I forget something as simple as a multi-tool or a wrench or whatever it might be. So make sure you have a checklist before you leave your house on everything you need to get the job done for while you're going out to your lease that day. Come on, Hercules. Boom. Whew. As you can see behind me, we're on this old logging trail, and this thing has just been growing up for years. So we're coming through here and giving us a good shot back down to this flat, and then we're going to determine where we're going to put a stand at. So it's hot, we're wore out, but we're getting the job done. Keep hanging in there. It is hot. I mean, it's got to be in there.
Oh, it's not hot. It's freaking humid.
Yeah, it's rough. And we got this site. We've done a lot of work. So I'm gonna flip this around so you can see our entrance trail on this old logging road that was all grown up. We've now got that clear, so we have good access. Matt and I had to do a take two. We really wish the camera's rolling, but we've got the tree stand all set up. It'll be overlooking this little plateau over here where we've got some attractants. There's that heavy trail that runs right down to that creek with some holding water cells down there. And hopefully we'll start getting some rain. That'll start running again. Now this logging trail keeps going back behind Matt's shoulder there and wraps around about another 100 yards before it drops straight off, basically a cliff. But from the intel that I've gotten so far, these deer are coming up either that trail, this logging trail, or up that hill, or up this hill. And then they're working their way up out into the ag fields at night. So I think we got a good little setup with this stand back here. We have to do some good job of camouflaging it in, because when you're sitting in it, it definitely, I mean, if they're coming off this hill or behind you, you're almost going to be eyeball to eyeball with them. So I don't know. Matt's sitting here pointing out that we might need to get the accessory kit. The only thing we actually used that over in the pond bottom stand last year, which allowed us to hunt a lot of rainy days. It was a cool, I mean, it's not as nice as this one. It doesn't fully enclose, but it has the canopy on top.
Yeah, so every time it rained, it would drip down your back. It was great.
Yeah, you definitely had to get up there and empty it out. But it did work, and it did get us out there and protect our camera gear and stuff like that. The only thing that sucks about it is with a bow, you have to be shooting from a seated position, because you can't stand up because the canopy's over your head. So I think an enclosure like that, I mean, really, you're only talking about crossbow or...
Kentucky's extended the crossbow season. I mean, we're only looking at 2 weeks outside of crossbow with the regular bow.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to be getting into some crossbow. My military and sports history careers have really started to catch up, and it's getting harder and harder to get that bow back without having to grunt and chase the deer off when I'm trying to do it. But again, we've got this little plateau down here that we're pulling a lot of bachelor groups off of these hillsides. We've got a nice stand set up that I'm gonna get camoed in. We've got the entranceway, a couple 100 yards there, and then we've got the ag field right on top of this hill. So hopefully we're getting ready to do a card pull back here, hang another camera, and we'll have some good bucks to bring you here at the end of the episode. Keep hanging in there with us.
Did David tell you how much he hates straps?
By the way, have I told y'all how much I hate straps? Because if I had an ultimate camera mount on this camera, it would be wham bam, thank you ma'am, no bugs, no extra excessive moisture.
You gotta turn towards me now. There you go.
Is that good? All right, so what do you think about the angle, Matt? Like, as far as...
I think we're good. I think it's leaning like it needs to. Yep.
You know what's really bad about this camera?
You can't open the bottom now, because you have to change the bottom. It's always something, guys. Always something.
Ultimate camera mount. I already changed the card on this one.
Yes, you already changed the card in that one.
Battery life is good. Seal is good. And stick is good. I mean, does that not just look ridiculous? Can you see this?
Yeah,
That looks ridiculous.
we got this.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Crazy.
Now I don't like it. I don't want to. All right, good enough. So guys, the reason why I'm standing up here, one, I wanted a better angle for these bucks when they're walking in. But two, if we do get some trespassers that are coming through, they're gonna have to work their butt off to try to at least climb this tree and take this camera. So we haven't had anybody steal anything out here yet. I'm not saying it's not gonna happen, but they're gonna have to want it if they're gonna take it. All right, Matt, I just still need to change that one.
So as you can see, we have a really nice bachelor group here. And we got this, what should have been a 10-point, but he's really messed up on his right side. All in all, really excited about what we're seeing on this lease.
So now it's Monday, the 12th of August, and we're out at the lease. It's been a long day. It's about 7:30 at night. Just ran out here to do some card pulls, check on that feeder, make sure that the strap's all right. So we're getting ready to go do that. But I wanted to talk through what we found yesterday off the card pulls. And as you just seen, the day after I did a card pull last time, we had another bachelor group come through. There was that it would have been a really nice 10, but his right side's really messed up. So I'll show you that here again. But what we're finding is when we put bait out, or those baited areas with the cameras, the bucks are finding them, but then once the doe and the raccoons find them, the bucks leave. It's crazy. So we did not have one, after that day, we did not have one more picture on any camera on the other lease out at the drop zone of any bucks. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. And any other word that you can come up with that means nothing. So pretty frustrating. So we moved some additional cameras, put them in some away from the baited areas and more on access trails and things of that nature to see if we can get them that way. So we're going to continue to stick with it, keep on putting together that formalized plan for when we get out there and our opening day. But we're going to get out here, I'm going to pull all these cards, I'm going to check that feeder, make sure that that's working. Hopefully they ain't chewed through the ratchet strap I put up there. We'll talk to you more about that here in a second. But obviously we've got a lot more work to do before we get that game-winning plan in place for opening weekend. So keep hanging in there. Well, as you can see, we have turkey. And guys, I am so excited about, just seeing that, because 3 years ago, maybe even less, we didn't even have a turkey on this property. You would never see a turkey, ever. So now with the types of habitat we're creating, I'm sorry about the sun glare, but you can see this food plot, that high standing grass. It's plentiful for not only their palate, but also habitat. And, with the predator control that we do and we maintain out here on this farm, if there's a coyote shows up, it don't stay here very long. But the fawns and the fawn survivability has gone through the roof. So our deer herd is getting bigger. Now we have turkey on the property routinely. And so that's, getting more and more healthy as the years go on. So the things that we're doing are working on this property. But you have to understand, it doesn't happen overnight. I've been on this lease. This is the 11th year that we have hunted this property, and we've maintained the ground for the farmer. And when I first started coming out here, this was a rut only situation. You would see those cruising bucks come through here. Now we have bucks that live here. And so over the past 11 years, the past decade, that we've invested time, effort, money, energy, and everything else it takes to make one of these farms the right way, it's now paying off. So it pays off for our neighbors too, but that's a whole nother story. So I did a card pull. I got, I think, 10 or 11 cameras out here, maybe 11 or 12. either way, we got the cards pulled. We're going to go back to the house and we're going to start checking. So stay tuned.
So here's a deer that I've named Frisky. Every time that I see him, he's not really showing dominance. I think he's just playing, but he's very distinguished by his very small brow tines. And I believe he is 3.5 here, solid 8 point. We found some good pictures from him last year, and we're pretty positive it's the same deer. So let's take a look at him. So here's a picture of Frisky from the 2018 season. Again, notice the really small brow tine length. And he's actually put a lot of tine length on this year, so really excited to see what he'll blow up to in the 2020 season. All right, so here's a smaller 8 point that I don't know if I've ever seen before, and almost acts like he might be a bully deer that wants to push the other deer around, so he just might get added to the hit list for this season. All right, so here comes old slow roller creeping in, trying to get him some feed. And then, boom, old Kamikaze definitely showed him who's boss. Say Kamikaze's our dominant buck on the farm.